Packers! Hafeman Bros! Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Brews and Bros. Look at this. It's two bros now. You see that? You see that? Yes. Now, many of you know I'm not always the best with technology, but I am very MacGyver-like with technology whenever necessary, and this is a necessary moment. So here we are. Welcome to the first ever Brews and Bros. Please comment in the chat. First off, we welcome Ben from Rochester, Minnesota. Yes, Ben. Say hello, Ben.
I don't know what you're doing. I thought this was going to be a little different. You know, just have me on a tablet next to your face.
See,
It's just odd.
this is when in social, these times like this with social distancing, we can still be close.
Oh, that's
See?
true.
It's like I'm giving you a hug.
You have to be like 5 feet apart. Otherwise,
We're not making light of social distancing, but we've had enough of all this stuff, and we're trying to make it better. Thanks for joining us on Brews and Bros. Now, yes, we'll talk a little Packers, but this is not Hafeman Brothers Talking Packers episode. First question for you is, what brew are you drinking tonight? I will start. If you saw my opening photo, you got it already, but it is the one and only Arrogant Bastard Ale, which also says you're not worthy on the can. I'm going to start right now because this show only goes as long as this beer lasts. So that was the whole point. What we're trying to chat while we enjoy a beer. Ben, this was the big question. What are you drinking tonight? And are you drinking anything tonight?
I am drinking something. Here, I got it right here.
No!
Eckes might think this is Guinness because it's so dark, but it's not. It's root beer. Sorry, I don't drink that much. I know that. Apologies.
There is still beer in the title, so we'll count it. We'll count it. Especially because you're not really a big drinker of beer or anything for that matter with alcohol in it.
No. Well, there were like maybe twice a year back in college where I'd go and drink stuff, and it didn't never always end up the best.
That's true. I remember there was definitely one underwear party. It wasn't pretty. It was not pretty.
That was before I started. It wasn't pretty before I started drinking on that one.
Also, yes.
I think I broke a shower curtain one time. I think I puked at that same time. I puked in the bathtub. Sorry, Nick. There was one time it was really bad. It was the night that I got into Innocent Men. I went out drinking with a bunch of my buddies from the dorms. I used to live in the dorms. This is now we weren't at the dorms as much anymore. Obviously, they were all out of the dorms. And I came back from drinking with those guys, and when I was out at bars, everybody bought me a drink because they were all like, "Whoa, you're in the Innocent Man! Hey, all right." And then I got home. I went back to their house, and it was bad. Like, I had scalloped potatoes that day, and if you ever wanted to see Alabama Slammer mixed with scalloped potatoes, that's what happened to their kitchen. I didn't make it to the bathroom if somebody was in there. Then the next morning, they actually blamed it on Steegy. Hopefully, Steegy's not watching this because all these years later, I never told him that it was me because he thought it was him. They were like, "Oh, it was you, Steegy. It was you. You were so drunk, you don't remember." But it was actually me. There was one other person who knew that it was me, and she didn't say anything. So that was nice of her to not say anything. But all these years later, Steegy still doesn't know. So if he's watching this, I'm sorry, Steegy, because he cleaned up.
He was not invited, so I'm guessing he's not watching. Hey, we've got some problems. We got a couple comments. Andrew says it is not beer. He does not think it qualifies, Ben, so he's a little disappointed. And he also was going to be logging off if things kept going to Ben in underwear. So sorry for bringing up the old. Well, sorry for bringing up those old stories. Ekis has not commented, so I'm guessing he's not on here. Although that was the whole point of bringing up the underwear story, because I don't remember, but one of the underwear parties, I think him and Nick both had like size 10 child underoos that they wore to the underwear party, and that was not a pretty sight. Not a pretty sight at all. Okay, so Andrew, since you're on here, what beer are you enjoying tonight? And is your lovely wife enjoying a brew with you? I'll wait for your response. No, I won't. I'll keep talking. I have a couple things to bring up, though, while we're hearing from more people and trying to find out what Andrew's drinking. If you log in, please tell us right away what beer you're enjoying tonight. Again, Arrogant Bastard Ale for me. It's usually more enjoyable the more drinks you have. The first one's a little bitey, but not too bad. And Ben was on the side of root beer.
Hey, that's interesting, because I'm drinking Barks right now, and they say Barks has bite. So you're drinking something with bite. I'm drinking something that says it has bite. I don't really think it does. Hey, I'm going to switch my phone.
Okay.
So that you can hold that iPad the other way, so you can actually get my face on there.
Oh, you want to?
Anybody wants to see it. So I'm gonna.
I thought you said you didn't want to do video or have people see your face. I'm gonna give you a hug. Wait.
What happened?
I turned it the right way. Oh, now I can cuddle with you, my lovely brother. Yes. Look at this. This is how this show is.
I got a giant chin. I gotta do something about that. Here, I'm gonna do like a little. Here you go. No, this doesn't look any better.
I'm gonna turn you this way. Watch this.
Looks better.
Whoa! Look at that. Ben can do magic tricks. Magic tricks.
Oh my God.
This is amazing. Anyway, so we thank you all for checking this out. Whoever. Oh, Eric Paul is on as well. Andrew says he thought it was beer, but it's sadly not. It's some type of hemp thing that he's drinking. Please explain, Andrew. Sarah's enjoying a pumpkin spice hard cider, so we'll count that. And Eric is here, and he is drinking Craptastic Cream Ale. So we have a nice variety of things tonight. Craptastic Cream Ale. Eric, is that one of your originals, or is that one you purchased? You know, Eric makes beer. He's a big home brewer, right? So he also comes up with all of his own names for every brew he's made, and that sounds like an Eric name most likely, but we'll see what he says.
Okay.
Homebrew. Not his original, but not his original recipe, but it is a homebrew. Okay.
Okay.
Now, if you don't know much about the homebrew unit, there's a whole like underground circuit of homebrewers, right, that do all this homebrewing stuff and communicate and all this stuff that goes. They're not all underground; they're above ground. They're all over the place. But anyway, the homebrewing stuff is really big. People love it. Eric's been at it for a while, and I've tasted a number of his beers, and they're very, very good. And I know some other people that are really into it too. So, hey, nice work. He grows his own hops, like all kinds of cool stuff. So Eric is very science smart, as well as other types of smart that I wouldn't know about. But he is very good with the science stuff. So I think his beer brewing is more of like a science extension than anything else. But he also enjoys beer, so that's good.
I changed my phone, so now I can look up at you. Is that weird?
That is how you should be looking up to me most of the time. It's really the way it should be. Yes. Andrew says it was it was in the single IPA selections. Bastards put it in the wrong spot, Andrew says. So he's disappointed. He actually thought it was a beer until he started drinking it. Okay, interesting.
It's bad.
It's not good. Now, so we do, if more people tell us what beer they're drinking, great. But we do want to talk a little bit of Packers tonight and what's on your mind as well. We'll open it up to that. One thing I wanted to say, it's obviously a weird time. There's no sports going on live right now. It's really strange. A lot of us were excited about the Bucks and the NCAA tournament and all that stuff not happening based on the health crisis and all that situation. So we're trying to work through all that together. The NFL offseason is still going. So we have been paying attention to that. And we've also we had a great episode, the last one, talking about what the Packers have done so far. Ben, they had another signing since our last episode. So why don't you tell people what you think about Devin Funchess being a Green Bay Packer?
I mean, whatever. I don't know. I mean, he was one of those guys when he came out in college. They were like, "Oh, he's gonna be something. He's so tall and fast, and he can be a nightmare for defenses. Linebackers can't cover him. Safeties can't cover him. Corners are too small. Nobody can do anything." So what happens? He goes to Carolina. He's paired up with Kelvin Benjamin, and he can't do anything. And he's got, he does stuff, but let me put it this way. They went from Geronimo, who's slow and can't catch, to Funchess, who's a little bit faster and can't really catch. So I don't know what this signing really does other than give us another guy who's pretty much the same size as Kumaro and Equinemius St. Brown and Lazard. It's like they're all 6'4", 6'5", tall guys who are kind of fast, but not really fast, and not shifty really. And to be honest, Lazard's got better hands, Kumaro's got better hands, and EQ's got better hands. So unless this is and plus he was hurt all last year. He played one game. So is he gonna come back and be great? I don't know. Is he gonna be able to do what we need him to do? I don't know. I'm not really. They're still going to draft a guy, if not two guys, I think, at wide receiver in this draft. And they need to. Like we've been calling for it. Like we need a Donald Driver, Randall Cobb, shifty, get open guy, because we don't have that right now. And if he could be a kick returner too, big plus. That would be great. That's what they really, really, really need. And maybe there's nobody out there in free agency that fits that bill that they like. That's fine. Because there's not 1,000, but there's like 50 receivers coming out this year in the draft that like 10 of them are exactly that, shifty guys who could probably do some return duties. And I think they're still going to take at least one of those guys, if not two, in the draft. So Funchess signing, whatever, sure. He could have a big bounce back here, make something happen, be awesome. That'd be great. But I'll believe it when I see it, kind of.
Yeah, it wasn't exciting to me either. Sorry, we're agreeing again, Nick, but sometimes we get a lot of that on our show. If you've checked it out, we did get an update. Mom and Dad are on, and they are drinking Anape Brewery 2-Stall tonight. So, tip of the cap to Anape Brewery and 2-Stall. They got that straight from the garage. So, nice work. If you don't know Anape Brewery, it's from her hometown of Algoma. Very good microbrew that's really, really blown up, pretty big distribution kind of all around the state now. And they opened up a new facility near Green Bay. So they're really, really doing some good things in the world of small brewers and fighting against the big boys. I'm glad no one said they're drinking Miller Lite tonight so far. So that's kind of nice. Although, Michelle, if you did join us at any point and you're enjoying a Coors Light, I won't put you down for that. That's fine. I knew you did spend a good amount of time in Colorado, so I know you're partial to Coors Light, and that's okay. That's okay. Now, Eric, if you're still on here, I'm curious because, we talk Packers a lot, and Eric grew up with us in the Green Bay area, but was never really a Packers guy. He was always a Raiders guy. So, Eric, what is going on with the Raiders, man, in free agency? Because we haven't been paying attention to them, so why don't you give us a quick update, and we'll try to share with everybody else that's watching this. So we'll wait for Eric's response. I know earlier today I kind of asked him that in a text, and he did say that they're just kind of floundering like normal. So not doing a lot that makes sense. But Ben, there are other teams who aren't doing a lot that makes sense. And I want your take on this while we wait for Eric's response, which is, Ben, did you happen to see the article about Jimmy Graham?
Yeah.
And where he was quoted in saying, "I'm still fast." What did you?
Said, yeah.
Did anyone else see that?
Not. He's slow. is he's slow. He's got zero acceleration. So when he catches the ball, it takes him like 5 seconds just to turn around and start moving. So no, he's not fast. Maybe he's fast when nobody touches him. He gets a free line off, move off the line of scrimmage, and he starts to go. And after about 15 yards, then his speed starts kicking in because he's got long legs and he's tall. Yeah, okay, then he's fast. But when it comes to turning around, catching the ball, and making a move, no. I'm so glad that he is now a Bear because he is. I'm glad Italian's back. I'm glad we got Sternberger. I'm glad Mercedes is back. We don't need a tight end. They can draft it if they want.
Oh, Ben, your audio dropped. We need it back. Right in the middle of your rant. No, Zoom, don't let me down. Don't let me down, Zoom. Uh-oh. He's coming back. Oh,
No, it was me.
You know what? It was you.
I think it couldn't handle my tirade there. But anyways, Jimmy Graham, he sucks. Okay, I'm done. I don't want to destroy my phone or whatever's going on here. Okay, bye.
That's okay, Jimmy. I thought Jimmy Graham had hacked into the connection and tried to shut you down because that was just comical to read those comments. And you're right. But you mentioned if he gets going, then maybe he's got some speed that kicks in, but that's just about the time that he falls down normally. So I don't know if that speed kicking in really helps.
Right.
But we're glad he's in Chicago.
Eric, you have anything to say?
I'm glad he's in Chicago. Yes, Eric, getting back to us on the Raider update, which is not a lot of big splashes, but a couple of good pickups on defense. They did get Littleton and Kwiatkowski, so that's good.
So they got Littleton.
And then Marcus Mariota, did he really go to the Raiders? Is that?
Yeah, he went to the Raiders.
Okay. And then Jason Witten, are you for real?
Yeah.
Please stop. I mean, based on the Bears signing Jimmy Graham, I thought if somebody was going to go after Witten, they would get him too. Why not? But wow, okay. Interesting. And they're all going to hang out.
Darren Waller. Darren Waller had a great year last year. Why are they going after like an old? I mean, it's got to be just, hey, Gruden. He likes smart guys. He likes guys that know their assignment. He likes good leaders. I'm sure they have a lot of young guys on the Raiders, so I'm guessing it's probably a thing. Hey, let's bring in a guy who's proven, who's won, who can show how to be a professional in the league to some of the young guys. And maybe Darren Waller needs that too, because he's been in the league a few years, but he finally had a good year last year. After all, and if you watched the Hard Knocks from last year, you saw he went through a lot of things with substance abuse and stuff like that he kind of came on the other side of, which was awesome for him. But I'm sure that's just a move that Gruden's like, hey, let's get a guy in here who knows what's going on. He's smart. He's a great, responsible veteran who can show these guys how to be a professional. And now I can take these young guys with talent, and turn them into professionals, and maybe we could do something. So that's not a bad move. And maybe that's what the Bears are thinking too. With Jimmy Graham, I don't know, but I highly doubt that. But whatever. And as far as Mariota goes, Mariota got beat out by Ryan Tannehill for his job. So I just don't. I don't know. Derek Carr. But you never know. Gruden could find something in Mariota and make him awesome. Who knows? I mean, he made. Did he make Ty Detmer look good with the Eagles for a while? Or was he gone by the time Ty Detmer got to the Eagles?
I think he was gone. Yeah. Okay. Although
he had Doug. What?
I was thinking Witten could probably run Spider 2 Y Banana and be okay.
Yeah, but he's not the banana.
No, I know the fullback, right?
He's a spider.
Yeah, okay. So most of the time he's hopefully going to draw coverage and the fullback will be open for a 2-yard pass. I don't know. The Packers don't run those plays that work. That's in the section. That's in the section on the playbook called plays that work, which the Packers often ignore for some crazy reason. The plays that everybody runs that work. And then the Packers are like, no, we don't want to do that. Why would we do that? Those plays work for every single team. Let's do other plays that might work, but aren't on the list of every single team's plays that work. So that's my rant about the Packers play calling. Sorry about that. Ekis is here. Ekis, thank you for joining us. A Goose Island IPA and you call us sissies. So it really is Eckes. It's not his daughter, Berkey, hacking his account and posting for him on this chat. Thank you, Jason Eckes, for joining us tonight.
I'm glad Eckes is there because I was going to bring something up that I was waiting for him to show up. I don't know if he noticed this. I don't know if he saw this, but his boy, Danny Vitale, signed with the Patriots. So, and as we all know, the Patriots fullbacks usually make plays. They usually, they find a way to get him open. So if Vitale has a huge year this year, there's only one reason he didn't have a huge year last year. And that would be, well, two reasons. But Flora doesn't know what he's doing, which would suck. Or Rodgers didn't ever throw the ball, or whatever. Because if he goes out and, all we ever heard, right? Well, we saw in the preseason, he was awesome. They never used him. Now he's going to a team that always uses running backs, always uses the fullback. And just wait. It's going to get either, because I want to be, if he starts having a good year, I hope to God that the reporters for the Packers start asking LaFleur. They're like, hey, remember when we had Vitale? Look at him. He's got 5 touchdowns in 5 games. He's got 70 yards, receiving in 1 game. I don't know. How come we didn't use that guy more when we were in trouble not moving the ball for like 6 games in a row? And that's what I want to know. So I want to know what Eckes thinks about that signing to the Patriots.
I guess
just like we said when we went over the free agency, we were talking about it. We were like, hey, I want to see Danny Vitale go somewhere where he's going to be actually used.
True.
And we know the Patriots will use him.
Now, if Tom Brady was still there, he would have even more targets because Tom Brady likes to throw 60% of his passes to the running backs now that he's 48 years old or whatever the heck he is. But anyway, whoever they get in there, they're still going to probably throw plenty of the running backs. James White, a great Badger, and should have been the Super Bowl MVP a couple of years ago, getting plenty of targets and really versatile. And Danny Vitale is just going to make those backs even more versatile. And so we'll see. I'm sure he will have a very good year. We missed Danny Vitale, but like we said, if you're not going to use him, then let him go somewhere where he will be utilized, and that's fine. Eckes says Kumaro is his boy. He did like Vitale, but they gave him more than the Packers would have, and that's very true because the Packers don't want to spend any money on fullbacks. That's fine. Let's see. Mom says, this is the first time Dad can hear and see you guys, and he said you guys are nuts in a good way, of course. Thank you, Dad. Thank you. That's better than he's said much worse about us over the years, and we've had some names, right?
I'm not getting to that.
Well, sometimes we were kind of bad or misbehaved or maybe gave him too hard of a time. He's had some, Eckes brings up Taysom Hill. We did have Taysom Hill, the ultimate weapon in football. But again, the Packers wouldn't know what to do with him, Eckes, so there was no point in keeping him on the Packers squad. Especially if they were still going to have Brett Hundley be in front of him at quarterback. Please. Then the coaching staff didn't know what to do with him. I'm glad he's an awesome guy. I'm glad to see him being utilized. And maybe he earns his way into a starting quarterback gig in a year from now, which would be fantastic for him because he is awesome. If you haven't seen stuff on Taysom Hill, go check out. There's like 30-minute videos on YouTube about all the crazy plays he's made in the last couple of years. And he's doing everything. Special teams. He's a receiver. He's a running back. He's a quarterback. He's tackling guys. He's doing every single thing on a football field you could do except kick and punt. And the Packers would have never figured that out because we know who they had as a coach at that time when they had Taysom Hill. And yeah, it's just sad. It's sad. But at least he's getting to play and show his stuff. So we're good for that. All right. I think we've heard from everybody on their beer selections tonight. Eric is pretty excited about the Raiders' defense, but he doesn't like their inability to stretch the field, and so that'll continue. As far as the Packers, Ben, they need more of that stretch the field, but where are they going to get it from? We hope this draft, right? Because it doesn't appear that Marquez Valdez-Scantling is going to be much of anything for this team, especially after the year he had last year when he started as the number 2 receiver and ended up as the number 6 receiver, I think, by the end of the year.
I mean,
not good.
What I think they should use, to be honest, to stretch the field is use Tanyan to stretch the field. Because that's, first of all, it's going to take, if they send him, especially if they send him up the middle, just somewhere in the middle of the field, it'll take the safety up deep. It'll give more space for Lazard and Devontae Adams to work with. If they take a big guy and run him, right through the middle and have the defense have to try to worry about what's going on with that helps. The other thing, like I said, is a draft. There's a bunch of fast guys, bunch of quick guys, whatever it is, and you don't really have to stretch the field if they can call and run the plays like we like, which get guys open. You don't have to stretch the field all the time. You could just send a guy like MBS deep, and that might scare him a little bit every now and again, but he might not even make the team this year, or even get to play especially with Funches. Maybe Funches the guy who goes deep. I don't know, but obviously last year we saw they had an issue moving the ball. They had an issue going downfield. They had an issue. The only big plays they really had, for the most part, were Aaron Jones running. So what are you going to do? I don't know. I don't really trust.
And some big plays in the pass game to Aaron Jones, the running backs, which for some reason they got away from. So you'd like to see more consistency there as well with utilizing those running backs. And you hope in year 2 of the LaFleur system that they're going to do that. Ekis has got a question. Actually, I got a quick beer update here. Andrew moved on from his hemp crap, quote, hemp crap that he was drinking, onto War Pig's Foggy Geezer IPA, which is much better. And Ekis says, yes, Foggy Geezer is good. But Ekis had a question about what do we think about the Packers' backup quarterback situation? Are we good with Tim Boyle? Well, I will go first on that. I will say Tim Boyle is the best Packers backup quarterback since Matt Flynn. How's that? Because Brett Hundley was not. Good? No, I'm not saying he's good, and I'm not good with him, but he's, I think, their best backup quarterback since Matt Flynn. Because Scott Tolzien, no. Seneca Wallace, no. We also had Brett Hundley for way too long. And then you're talking about Graham Harrell was in there at some point. Graham Harrell, a third-round draft pick by one Ted Thompson. The guy couldn't even throw the ball 5 yards without throwing it in either 2 yards above somebody's head or into the ground. So, yes, I would say Tim Boyle is good in comparison to the Packers' backup quarterbacks for a very, very, very long time. But would you like to improve there? Are you on this thing? I keep seeing all this stuff. Hold on. I keep seeing all this stuff about people talking about the Packers drafting a quarterback early in this draft. I don't think it's a great quarterback draft. And do you really want your team to do that? I don't. I think you got Rodgers, and he's already committed and told you he wants to play a few more years. So I think it's a wasted draft pick at this point, because you're going to waste the cheap years of that quarterback's contract. And then by the time you would play him, then you're going to have to pay him. I don't think it's worth it. Ben, you got anything on that?
No, it's dumb. It's dumb because you're going to have a guy sitting there who has no experience. So if he's your third, he's going to be your third string quarterback, if even that. And then, just like you said, by the time he's ready to go, Rodgers is probably still going to be playing because he wants to play until he's 43 years old, whatever. He's only 36 now, right? 37? I don't know what he is.
I think he's 37, yeah. Or he's going to be 37 partway through the season. Yeah.
Yeah, so he wants to play until at least he's 40, 41, 42, whatever. And he could probably do it if he, just starts playing the game and reading the plays and reading the defense and throwing to the open guy instead of trying to wait till Devontae gets open way too long and make a dumb decision. But I don't want to get into that right now. Anyway, so no, do not draft a quarterback. I don't want to see him draft a quarterback late. I would rather see them, like, if you're worried like Rodgers might get hurt and you need a quarterback, then sign a veteran quarterback who's been around, who knows what's going on, who's already been in your offense from the past. Both sides. I'd rather. This sounds crazy, but I'd rather have him go get Blake Bortles, who's probably nowhere. No, but look, listen.
Don't let Sarah hear that. I think she drafted him in fantasy that one year after he had his best year and then really tanked. Sorry about that, Sarah. That was a bad one. Eric does say. Eric posted the question: do you want Mariota?
No, I don't want him. Because we don't. He doesn't. I don't know. Maybe he's. I don't know. He could be good.
Well, you know what the good answer would have been? Somehow recognizing Taysom Hill's talent and how even Rodgers' collarbone's broken season. If you had turned that season over to Taysom Hill and known what to do with him, he would have won many more games than Brett Hundley did, and it might have been a salvaged year. But anyway, that's in the past, and we can't make it up. But that would have been the only chance with the guys the Packers have had on their team. That would have been the only chance to have somebody better than what they currently have in Tim Boyle. Tim Boyle was clearly better than Deshaun Kaiser, and so they at least give them credit for being smart enough to recognize that. And even though Kaiser was a high pick and they traded, Demarius Randall for him and all of that, they were like, this guy he was a high pick and we traded a lot for him, but he stinks at football. So I think we should get rid of him and we'll turn it over to this guy who was undrafted, who's actually not too bad at football. So I think they're okay. Eckes wonders if Tim Boyle can win half the games. If Aaron Rodgers is out for 4 games, something like that, can he win 2? I think so, especially with the running game they have and Aaron Jones. If Aaron Jones is healthy and the defense is playing well, they could win all 4. It depends who the opponent is, and yeah, it depends. But I think he can make plays, and I think he will do a good job of taking care of the football. Not quite as good as Rodgers, of course, but if you can make some plays when needed and take care of the football, they'll be fine.
Yeah, I agree. Don't draft the quarterback. They need defensive linemen bad. They need a guard and or right tackle of the future. Yeah, they got a couple of guys who they signed the last 2 years who are there to be there for a year or a year or 2 or whatever. But they need guys who can do it. They need a middle linebacker of the future, whoever that is going to be.
We hope in the draft. We hope.
Right. I mean, they need these picks to be those spots, and they need game changers. No more of this Sean Gary crap. No. Don't draft a guy for his potential at number 12. You don't draft a guy for his potential at 30. You draft the guy you need him to play, who's going to be a playmaker. Period. Unless you targeted like 6 guys, and all 6 of the guys you targeted that you thought were going to be at 30 were all gone. And you see a guy who's like a freak of nature that maybe you think could be something. Okay, fine. Or like when Aaron Rodgers falls from 1 down to 24. You got like the number 1 overall pick that fell to 24. Okay, you take him. Yeah. So if a quarterback, what the heck's that guy? The guy from Oregon, he looks insane. Like I love that guy. If he falls to 30, okay, take him. Because if a quarterback who's that good falls to 30, take him. But otherwise, no. Don't take one of these other guys in the first round or second round that are lower tier quarterbacks who you don't know if they're going to be good or what. Quarterbacks, and then it just doesn't help you right now. Get a guy who can help you now. We need a kick returner because we still haven't signed Irvin, right? So I don't know what they're doing there because we know we got nothing otherwise.
They're working on that one. Before you go on, Eckes keeps bringing up more names here about quarterbacks. So let me run these past you and get some reactions. What about Jameis Winston?
No.
Dude.
What do you want, Brett Favre 2.0?
He's worse. He throws so many picks. That would be like, can you imagine Aaron Rodgers trying to work with that guy? I mean, that would be crazy.
It might actually help him.
I mean, I'm sure he would. I'm sure Rodgers could help him some, but no. Come on. Okay, Case Keenum.
Maybe.
Case Keenum? I can see him.
For a solid veteran guy who's, who's going to – but when he was with the Vikes, he was like – sometimes he didn't always run the play right. He kind of just made something happen kind of thing. And that's kind of why they signed Kirk Cousins. Because Kirk Cousins is a guy who could run the offense. And that sort of thing. And then he was Cousins is the opposite of Keenum, where if the play breaks down, then he kind of stinks. Or Keenum, when the play breaks down, he runs around and makes something happen, kind of thing. But I don't know. He's fine.
All right, Colt McCoy.
Is he still in the league?
No. I guess
what? He was on the Redskins. He got hurt. Remember when they had 5 quarterbacks last 2 years ago, and they all got hurt. It was the weirdest thing I ever saw.
Yeah, right.
And this year, no.
Brian Hoyer.
Yeah, he was a first-round pick.
Brian Hoyer.
Brian Hoyer, is he with the Patriots now?
I don't know.
He started with the Patriots. I could be wrong.
Drew Stanton.
I don't even know who that is.
I mean, he's okay. I don't think he's an upgrade. I don't think any of those guys are upgrades from Boyle. And then Mike Glennon, he's not athletic enough. No. Look, here's the real deal. Okay, here's the truth about the Packers being successful in the Packers offense or behind the Packers offensive line. Is the Packers offensive line is not as good as a lot of people say it is. Aaron Rodgers' ability to buy time when guys get beat and avoid sacks makes them look better in terms of the sack numbers and different stuff like that. Like, yes, sometimes he holds the ball too long and then gives up some sacks. But if you take a guy who's not athletic and put him back there, that guy is screwed. Especially if Billy Turner is still going to be a starter for this team next year, because they'll go back and look at any of the games. Billy Turner blocks for 1 second and then stops blocking. Every single play. He's decent at run blocking, but pass protection, he gives the guy one arm shiver, one chuck, and then he lets him go. And so a guy that can't avoid pressure or move around or get away from guys is going to be a sitting duck, and he will be toast. So, no. They have to have somebody that can move, that's pretty athletic, and especially with the offense, it's a lot of boots, it's a lot of play action. Like, you need to have a guy that can move around pretty good. So they need at least an athletic guy if they're going to bring him in, somebody else, and preferably not one that's going to throw 30 picks like Jameis Winston. So that's why we say no to Winston. But Case Keenum, that's a good call, I guess. That could work. I could see it.
Yeah, I mean, but I'd rather have him do that. Don't waste a draft pick on a quarterback right now.
No.
It's just dumb.
They need linebacker,
still need
receivers. Yeah. I mean, they need to upgrade talent. We said this before in the last show too, especially at receiver, because they took all the late round receivers a couple years ago. Those haven't really panned out. They have other guys that are stepped up, like Lazard. I love Alan Lazard. Alan Lazard's awesome, but he was undrafted for a reason, because he's not that fast and he's not that shifty. So he's a great receiver for the team in the right role, but they need top end talent at receiver again. They need first or second round talent at receiver, because Devontae is awesome, but he's not that fast. Yes, he can beat Richard Sherman because Richard Sherman's slow, but he can't beat really fast cornerbacks deep. So you got to have a guy that can take the top off or is so good inside at changing direction and running away from people that can run that slot, that's the type of talent that you need. And so first or second round has to be a wide receiver in this draft if the team wants this offense to click. You disagree?
Yep.
Okay, all right.
I don't think they should take a wide receiver in first or second round.
All right. Hey, Nick, we just disagreed, dude. Look at that.
I'll tell you why. I was looking at some of the stuff about the receivers, and I don't think – I mean, if they can get Ruggs because he's so freaking fast, if he falls to 30, take him. But he ain't falling to 30. And the other guys are just big, slower guys. They're like Michael Irvin type guys. We don't need that crap.
Yeah.
So we've already got guys like that. The guys that they need are all – I've targeted them all. They're all like – 3rd, 4th, 5th round guys. And there's a bunch. There's one guy, Hightower. I don't know where he's from. He's a kick returner. He's 6'1.5", 190 pounds. He ran a 4.46 or something at the combine. And he's a good return guy. He's got good hands. He can do all kinds of stuff. So he's the guy I trust. And I think that's a guy that I wouldn't be surprised if they draft this guy, Hightower. There's a couple guys from Rhode Island I like. I don't know if they ever scout Rhode Island, but they might. So that's what I want. I want to see defensive tackle, offensive line, or linebacker with the first round, second round. Guys that can play now and help them now and get Billy Turner the hell out of there.
Billy Turner is not good. And if you think he is, you're wrong. James Camp and
Kenny Clark some stinking help.
That's true. You got to solidify. You need another very strong defensive tackle. And like we said, Dean Lowry and Tyler Lancaster, great rotational guys, great spell guys, but not guys that should be in the field for 60 snaps. It just doesn't work. And Kenny Clark, people talk about, he is great. He is very good. But you saw at times last year he wasn't that good because the guy played like 80% of the snaps, or almost 90% of the snaps. Kenny Clark, with 80 snaps a game is not going to be the Kenny Clark that he should be and that you want. So he's got to get some rest at times. He's got to be able to come out of the game because a big guy like that, he's using a lot of energy every play, going up against guys, going against double teams. Like, you need him to be fresh to be the awesome Kenny Clark that you want him to be. So that's got to happen. Let's see. Agus still wants him to throw to Jay Kumaro. Yes, I love Kumaro, dude. Yeah. He's awesome. He does make plays when he gets a chance. I don't know why they don't give him more opportunities in the game, but he makes the most of the opportunities he gets. The only thing I will say is Lazard stepped up huge, and Lazard's awesome. So they're lucky that they have him. I don't know who found that guy as an undrafted guy that they picked up. Cast away from the Jags or something like that, which is ridiculous. But he's awesome, and he got his chance, and that guy's not looking back. You listen to interviews with him, you look at what he did once he got on the field, that guy took full advantage, and he is not looking back. So he is a bona fide top receiver for the team. It's just a matter of, is he a good number 2 or is he better at number 3? So you upgrade the talent. You upgrade the talent a little bit, and he would be an outstanding number 3 guy that you can use in a lot of ways.
Not only that, if you go back and you look at some of the plays, and especially the playoffs and the last couple of weeks, Kumaro was in the game a lot, and Kumaro ran good routes, and Kumaro was open a lot, and Rodgers didn't look at him.
Yeah, that's true.
He just didn't look at him. He looked at Devontae all the time. Kumaro will be open. It'd be like 3rd and 8, and Kumaro is open for an 8-yard out route, and he's looking at Devontae, who's on the other side of the field. There's another play where Aaron Jones comes out of the backfield, moves in motion to the wide out on the left side of the formation, and Rodgers never looks over there. He's looking at freaking Devontae, on the other side of the field, and Jones runs a quick slant, and he's open for the first down. Rodgers never looked at it. So, I don't want to really get into the whole Rodgers thing because I can go on forever.
We don't have time. We're at 42 minutes.
The guy just, what I'm saying is the guy just doesn't. He's got to wake up. Like, if a play is called to get a certain guy open, then do it. Run the play. Trust the player. Do not look for a guy that because he spent so much time in the McCarthy offense. If that was even the McCarthy offense, a lot of people said it was the Rodgers offense, where he just was looking around for guys and wait till they got open and then threw them and threw an awesome laser and whatever, and they made a big play. Okay, that's great. But now you got a guy with the floor who runs actual plays, okay, with guys. And it's like, this play is supposed to get this guy open. This play is supposed to get this guy open. You move this guy in motion so you can see that they're in man or zone, then you take advantage of it. If they're in man, you throw here. If they're in zone, you throw here. Simple things that any quarterback in their right, like I'm saying, even Case Keenum could figure this crap out. And Rodgers has not figured it out. And he's got this offseason figured out, except now we got the Toronto Fire stuff. He's not there. He's not working on it. And then the other thing is, during this whole time with they went over all this, the new CBA agreement for the NFL Players Association and all that stuff. Rodgers was the number 1 advocate against it. He was like, no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I want less practice time. That's what he complained about. Less practice time. More off-season away from the football. And that's the one thing that scares me with Rodgers. He's a great player, but he loves to, do all these things that have anything to do with football. And that's the difference between him and Tom Brady. Tom Brady he does stuff away from football, but he's grinding constantly all year long. Same thing with Drew Brees, because they don't have the talent Rodgers has. But yes, they still have the same success, if not more, because they grind and they care and they want to be there and they work at it. And Rodgers is out partying, or not partying, but he's doing stuff. He's over with the Dalai Lama, or he's whatever he's doing.
He doesn't
tournaments and all that kind of stuff.
He doesn't eat. He doesn't eat, breathe, and sleep football like some of these guys do. You're right.
He doesn't, and that's fine. I'm not saying it's bad that he does.
But he does work hard at it. He does take it seriously. But you're right. I totally get that. However, I think he's done pretty well. But one thing I will say is if you go back, there's stuff on YouTube too that you can find, like full games from 2009, 2008, early in his career, and go back and watch some of those games and watch how he plays. It's from the pocket a lot. Like he'll still make some athletic plays here and there, but playing within the timing and the construct of the offense, and it works great. And you saw when he's had injuries, like blowing out his knee in the first game last year and against the Bears, and then he played the whole season with a hobbled knee, and he played games from the pocket, and he was awesome. He was dicing people up. He can do it. We just need him to do it more and play within the timing and the construct of the offense.
If he wants to have a career play till he's 45, he's got to change his approach and go. Now, the other part that you have to mention is when he was younger and he was playing from the pocket, he had Greg Jennings, he had James Jones, he had Donald Driver, he had Jordy, a young Jordy, he had Jermichael Finley. So all these guys were players that could get open and they were where they were supposed to be at the right time, and everything worked out right. And for the last 4 years, he's had Jordy hurt a lot, and then he's gone, and then
which you pointed out. Which you pointed out very nicely on our phone call yesterday about how they let Jordy go to sign Jimmy Graham. And what would this team have been like the last 2 years with Jordy Nelson instead of Jimmy Graham? That's a great question.
It would have been Jimmy Graham. First of all, they would have had Tanyan. They would have had Mercedes Lewis yet. They probably still would have drafted Jay Sternberger. And they would have had those guys playing in the game, so he would have actual production from the tight end at some point. Not only that, sometimes, luckily, Aaron Jones was a touchdown machine this last year, but we all know Jordy just has a connection. And now it could have stunted the growth, and I think that's why Gutekunst let Jordy go, because he was like, okay, I'm drafting all these guys. I'm drafting wide receivers because, I need this offense to work, the way it's supposed to, instead of Rodgers just going back and trying to, doing a connect with Jordy, doing a connect with Devontae. And that's the thing that needs to happen. They need to Rodgers needs to get back to learning the playbook, knowing where guys are, and trusting them. I think that's the other thing. I think he just doesn't trust them. You know what I mean? Like he won't throw the ball to guys. That's why when he called for Lazard in that the Lions game after he threw that pick, where the guy slipped and hit him in the face mask and then bounced up and it was an interception.
Jesus.
That was what he's like. That's it. I'm done. Get Lazard in the game. I know he's going to catch it. Get him in there. I'm throwing it to him. And he threw it to him when he was double covered. Still caught it. I mean, Lazard had a killer fourth quarter in that Lions game. It was because Rodgers like, all right, I trust this guy. I know he's going to catch things. So get him in the freaking game, please. Thank you. Okay. But it still wasn't the design of the plays. It was Rodgers trusting the guy.
All right. So, there's a new guy on. It's Butter. Butter's on. And he's drinking Busch Light. Butter! Busch Light! Good.
All right, I'm drinking Marks.
But he says Brady love starts again. We don't give Brady love most of the time, but we do give him some respect and some credit. However, again, Tom Brady is highly overrated, and the accomplishments don't really go along with the play. Like, yes, he's won a bunch of Super Bowls, but does that mean he's the greatest quarterback ever? No. So, anyway, sorry, just to clear that up. But
the greatest quarterback ever. That goes to the Magic Man, Don McCuskey.
Oh, what the? All right, Ben's drinking more than root beer. That's not root beer, people. That's not root beer.
Dude, what? Who is it then? Blair Keel?
No.
Anthony Dillwig?
Dillwig.
Right?
Okay.
Are those guys better?
We're bringing you more perspective now.
Domikowski?
If you remember, no, those guys weren't better than Domikowski, but they certainly, Domikowski is certainly not the best quarterback ever to don a Packers uniform. But what we are doing is giving you some perspective because You remember all those names before Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers? That's how bad it was, people. That's the Chicago Bears. That's 20 other NFL teams that can't find a quarterback. So even though Ben rips on Rodgers, and even though some other crap like that, and I love Rodgers and I'll defend him, but even though Ben rips on him sometimes and points out some stuff, and we did say he does need to play from the pocket more and within the timing and construct of the offense, he is awesome, and we are glad he is on the Packers, and we'll take him. We will take him over a bunch of teams and a bunch of guys, and we don't want Mitch Trubisky, or we don't want any of that. So, yes, we're good with Rodgers.
We don't want Mitch Trubisky, that's for sure.
No.
Or Nick Foles. God, I'm so glad the Bears are terrible. It's awesome.
Mom said the Packers signed Tyler Ervin just recently, like today, maybe.
Ooh. Okay, well, that changes things.
That's a thumbs up. We like that. We like Tyler Ervin.
Now maybe they don't want to. Maybe they won't draft Hightower. I'm telling you, Hightower is the name. I don't know what's his name. John Hightower. I got it written down. He seems to be a kick returner guy. He's quick in his routes.
Oh.
So I mean, I could see just wait. And there's Isaiah Coulter. He's from Rhode Island, and Aaron Parker from Rhode Island. These are guys that 4th round, 5th round kind of guys who are exactly what the Packers need. Donald Driver type guys who will. And actually, Aaron Parker is like James Jones. He's not fast at all, but he catches everything. And when I was looking at his highlights. He catches balls where it's double team. Like the guy just throws it up and he just makes a play, and it's like he just goes up and gets the ball. He's not a big guy. He's like James Jones size. He's just not. He's like 6 feet 1, 6 foot tall. He's not super fast, but he just goes up and gets the ball. And that's kind of the guy they need. The guy that Rodgers, he knows he's smart. He's going to be in the right spot, and I can trust him to make the play. And he's not the first option because he's like the 3rd or 4th receiver, and he's going to have the 3rd or 4th best corner on him, and he'll beat him. So that's what I want to see. 3rd round, 4th round, wide receiver. 1st round, 2nd round, deep tackle, offensive line, linebacker. That's what we need. Boom. I rest my case. I am correct. You are wrong. Thank you.
All right. Eric gives a couple comments about your quarterback names that you brought up. Eric says you remember those people because you're old, which is probably true.
And yeah, look at my gray, my receding hairline.
You should have saw him yesterday before he shaved all the gray beard off because it was. It's not even gray. It's white. It's white.
Dude, I braved the. I went to Target today. That was the first time I left the house since Tuesday, and I was just like, I gotta shave this beard. That looks terrible. even look at. I even got the zit in my nose. I didn't take a shower for 3 days because I was like, screw it, I don't care. Who am I impressing? My wife? She don't care no more. So.
Ben doesn't mind. Ben doesn't mind self quarantine. Ben basically lived in self quarantine.
This is the best. Yeah, this is like what I do. Self quarantine is what I dream of.
Eckes was waiting for Matt Hasselbeck, which may be the best quarterback we never got to see play for the Packers in regular season games.
That is true. Matt Hasselbeck is my favorite quarterback of all time, but he never actually played a game for the Packers. Well, yeah, he did. He played a couple things. He's in there a couple times, but
not enough. Not enough.
Don't get me started on Matt Hasselbeck.
Nope. And then
he should be a Super Bowl winning quarterback who got screwed by the refs. I didn't want to get into that.
That's very true. Eckes also brought up Lynn Dickey. Lynn Dickey was okay. He was kind of crazy, but I mean, you never knew what you're going to get, but he was better than those other guys we mentioned. And Grandpa Doug, he's a better coach than he was a quarterback, but hey, he was there too. So lots of Packer quarterbacks over the years. We're just happy to have good ones for such a long time. And again, I don't even remember what the numbers are anymore, but the Bears, now they just got Nick Foles to compete with Mitch Trubisky. So what is that going to be, their 27th starting quarterback in the time of, the Rodgers and Favre era where the Packers have had 2? Like, it's crazy. You don't want to be a Bears fan. And they signed Clinton Dix last year. Like, come on, man. And Jimmy Graham, they gave him $16 million for 2 years of Jimmy Graham. $16 million for 2 years of Jimmy Graham.
That makes the re-signing of Jay Cutler 5 years ago. That makes that look Good. This Jimmy Graham signing.
If I was a Bears fan, this would be my face.
I'm a Packers fan. This is my face.
Hey. All right. I think we rambled on long enough, but we are thankful for you to join us for the first ever Brews and Bros. Ben's got the notice. Next time, how about an actual beer, Ben? Because guess what? I think I only got like 3 drinks out of my beer this whole time because we've been talking and I've been occupied. I need to get a stand for this iPad, so I don't have to hold.
It's just weird that
but I do have to tell you.
Like I said,
I do have to tell you, that's nice, and it's made me feel closer to you during this time. I've never felt this close to Ben.
When I look at you like this, it's really weird because I'm looking at the TV and I'm watching me looking at you, and it looks like I really think that you're something special. I don't get it.
Well, you would be the first and only. No, that's not true. Mom and Dad think that we're all special, and we're all the same. We're all treated fairly. We all get the same gifts and all that stuff too. All right. We love you all for checking it out. Hafeman Brothers. Subscribe on YouTube if you haven't. Share. Our other shows are more probably structured and probably a little bit better. But you know what? This is fun. We like having your comments. We like hearing from you. And you can make comments on our shows too, and we'll respond to them in the following shows. Ekis has done it, and we've gone through his stuff and talked about it. So please interact with us. Subscribe, share, spread the word, like the videos, and we'll keep doing them because we love you. And take care of yourselves during this crazy, weird time in our lives, in our country, in our world. Be safe. We hope the NFL season will start as scheduled. And if it does, we're really going to enjoy this one after all this craziness. So for Ben, thanks for being on. Appreciate it.
Yep. It was fun being a weird thing next to your face. Great.
And hopefully next time we'll get some Viking people on here too. So we'll catch you soon. Love you all. Peace out. I got to double click, so this will take a second.